Hey guys, Nina here, welcoming you to another reading from the Ladies of Horror Picture Prompt Monthly Challenge, hosted by Elaine Pascal on her channel, The Godmother of Horror. If you'd like to read along or read previously published pieces, please visit spreadingthewritersword.com or ladiesofhorror.com. In the meanwhile, enjoy the reading.
The End of the Road by Rie Sheridan Rose. We were starving. That's the truth of it. And Mother couldn't even get out of bed anymore. God only knows where Father had gone. He shouldered his axe one morning and left the cabin whistling. That was 6 months ago in the hopeful spring. Now winter was coming, and we haven't seen him since, leaving me the man of the house and Gretel stuck mothering us all. The twins are only 5 and the babe should be at Mother's breast, but she can no longer feed him. I knew I had to do something. There was nothing left to sell except Mother's wedding brooch and ring. Cheap things at best, but all we had left. I know she wanted Gretel to have them, but we had no choice. My sweet sister smiled bravely as she handed me the little pouch of jewelry. I don't really need gewgaws like these. Bread and milk will be far more valuable to me. It was just like Gretel to put herself last. If I found any other way, I'd take it. First things first, though. Sitting here in the cabin around the fire we were already feeding with twigs and bark was not an option. I had to go find us a way to survive the winter. There was no point in filling my pockets with breadcrumbs to mark the way, as I had heard others doing. I couldn't take the food from the littles. Instead, I turned to the one other marker I could think of, the yarn from Mother's wicker box. In happier times, she had been known far and wide for her knitting. People came from miles around to buy her creations. Now she could no longer hold the needles, and Gretel had never learned the skill. It was a lucky happenstance. With the multicolored balls of yarn, I could leave myself a trail and venture further than I had before to see if I could find work or sell the jewelry for a better price. My spirits rose at the thought. I rose early the next morning, filling my rucksack with the yarn and my pockets with a morsel of bread and the little pouch of jewelry. I hugged my mother and Gretel, patted the twins on their heads, and kissed the babe goodbye. "Be careful, Hansel," Gretel whispered, tears standing in her eyes. "The woods are full of dangers." "I will be back before you miss me," I replied gently. "Impossible. It's too late for that." Suppressing my emotions, I stepped into the chill morning. There was a bite to the air that warned we might have left the journey too late, but I couldn't let myself think so. I tied one of the strands of yarn to the rail of the porch, my starting guide. Momentarily I considered if I should double or treble the yarn to make it stronger, but doing so would also cut the distance I could travel. I resigned myself to fate and began to pay out the line as I walked away from the cabin. It was an adventure at first, snaking the yarn through the trees as I searched for the best path, but by the end of the day, I was down to my last ball of yarn and feeling cold and dejected. I hadn't seen a single cabin all day, much less a village or town where I might sell the jewelry. It all seemed in vain. But as the sun set behind the trees, I spotted a glimmer of light in the distance. Might that be a place to shelter the night, if nothing more? I walked forward eagerly, and the yarn pulled out of my hand, the last length spent. What should I do? I could travel toward the light, but if there were no shelter to be had there, how would I find my lone strand of yarn again? I could hunker here for the night, but the wind already bit through my thin jacket with hungry teeth. It appears I have reached the end of the road, for us all.